And welcome to the longest running podcast with the least amount of listeners.
Yeah.
We Don't Know WDK, episode 18. We Don't Know Film.
We're officially adults.
You go out, you buy... Oh, you can't buy cigarettes anymore when you're 18.
So yeah, how's your luck with Swishers? Or not Swishers, obviously we don't smoke Swishers. How is your luck with like Dutch Wraps and Backwoods?
Backwoods, I can still find almost everywhere.
Okay.
Well, everywhere that, what initially, where they were
'cause-
initially held to begin with. Dutch it's, at least as far as Long Beach is going, I don't see any.
Yeah, Dutches are no more.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that Backwoods are next.
No.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Oh, no, man. What the fuck are we going to do? What the...
Spend $30 plus shipping on a pack from like St. Louis.
Straight the fuck up. Well, in case you folks didn't know, my name's AJ. I've got Danny over there. Fuck, I forget my actions are mirrored, so it's the opposite way. But anyways, we got a good one for you today. We watched a couple of good films to talk about. We got some interesting shit. Talking about Dogville. Feels Good Man, possibly a little bit toward the end. But yeah, it's I had a pretty good day. Got the Clipper game on in the background, just
nice.
The Lakers won last night.
Cool.
So it was a very important game too. So
Was it game 2?
It was game 3.
Game 3, okay. So now they're 2-1, right?
Yeah, so exactly. Now Lakers are up 2-1.
Cool. Sounds good.
Well, shit, I guess we should probably dive into our you already know first segment, Pop Culture Corner.
Pop Culture Corner. So like I'll go first just because like I was thinking about this like towards the end when I was watching Dogville. I was like, all right, what's gonna be my pop culture?
Okay, yeah.
But today, basically, before I watched Dogville, smoking a blunt as one does before a 3-hour movie. You gotta
prepare yourself. Yeah,
gotta prepare. I was listening to this band called Fontaines DC, and they're kind of like a dark wave band, kind of like gothic post punk.
Okay, yeah.
And then I switched over to this band called Wares, and it's this album called Survival. And the reason
I saw you listening to that on Spotify.
Yeah. And like the reason I feel like I have to talk about it is just because like I was really surprised because indie rock, especially like low key indie rock, a lot of the times it's like more about like the lyrics than anything. Like you want because like all the playing is really the same. It's usually like they probably have like a good guitarist, but like the rhythm section isn't good or like what middle of the road indie rock sounds like.
Gotcha, yeah.
But Wares is dope because like they have such a sick bass player. Like the bass in all the songs is so like melodic and like it's like a Phil Lesh type of like bass playing that I really love. Where it's like like we were talking about, like a bad bass player is just gonna play with the rhythm guitarist is playing or something, But like this, like a good bass player is gonna like fill in the spaces and kind of bridge the gap. So also I watched what was also cool is I watched the Thundercat bass video today. That was really dope. He just like went over all his favorite bass lines. So like I would pay like $4.99 a month just to like take fucking music lessons from Thundercat, dude. Like I think I'm gonna get really into Thundercat. Like he seems such a cool dude.
Yeah, he's one of the best out right now.
Dude, but he like showed me he didn't show me personally, obviously, but like on the video he was like showing everyone like all these dope ass songs that have been sampled by like Dre and fucking all kinds of people, and it's just like I don't know, it's just cool because like all his favorite bass lines are like really simple, but like they're really jazzy and kind of like it's like more about the feeling of it than like it's like super complex arpeggios or whatever, So I don't know, that was cool. Just like I've been in like just kind of like listening to bass mode today, I guess.
Hell yeah, cool. All right, well my pop culture corner. What is something I'm looking at my Spotify right now?
So just real quick, Drunk is the best.
Yeah.
Drunk
is probably his best work, I'd say.
Okay. And he's kind of like not neo soul, but he's kind of like more like neo funk. He's like more of like funky than like anything else.
I'd say that, yeah.
That's dope. All right, continue.
All right, here. Fucking Spotify. Oh yeah. Obviously, as you probably have seen on Spotify, one group that I've been really getting into that JT actually told me about is Ken Mode.
Yeah, let's kill everyone
Kill
now.
everyone now. Yeah, for those of you that don't know about Ken Mode, yeah, they're a two-piece Canadian noise rock group. Their name comes from Henry Rollins' memoir, Get in the Van. And
Oh,
like,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
yeah, and like Danny mentioned, Ken stands for Kill Everyone Now. So I guess when Henry Rollins would show up to a show in Black Flag, he'd be in Ken Mode. But the one that I'm
Gotcha.
listening to right now, apparently Albini has also recorded them, some of their other work. But the one I'm listening to, Albini did not record, and it's their 2018 release called Loved. I believe it's
Yeah.
the most recent release too,
I think Albina did like the 2012 one, right? Or something
and
like
the
that.
2016 one.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Those are
Yeah,
the ones that like I didn't even hear about Love when it came out a couple years ago.
gotcha.
Um, but the other two definitely they would always show up on like because this weird thing with like the metal sites that I look at,
Hmm.
they kind of consider noise as metal. Like it's kind of like
Yeah, that
grouped
makes
in,
sense. Yeah,
So like that's how I got Couch Slut. Like that's how I found Couch Slut. They were just like
gotcha.
next to like death metal and black metal. There's like a
That's
noise
cool.
section. So like
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of cool. Like because that's where I got Ken Mode because Ken Mode is on Seasons of the Mist, which is primarily a metal label. So
God,
it's
interesting.
just cool how like those worlds kind of
How those
collide.
collide. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Ken Mode has been one of the newer groups that I've been listening to a lot, and we talked about this last time we hung out, but a lot of been getting back into reggae.
nice.
But let me make this clear for the listeners at home. I do not know. We do not. We do not support white man reggae. No,
Yeah, like I'm just
none at
like
all.
I remember one time like I was really into this girl and she invited me to a Slightly Stupid concert
Oh no.
and I was like,
Yeah,
that's when like the true red flag was revealed.
yeah.
There was like other stuff that like
I'd
but that
rather
was
that
the one
girl. Yeah.
that was the one where I was like, "Oh, wow." Like I actually like even as much as I like this girl, like I have no desire to to ever go like to a Slightly Stupid
It's
show.
like you thought your girl liking the casualties was bad.
Oh, not even like that. I'll gladly take that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I will gladly
compared to
take that.
slightly stupid, I'll take a drunk spunk
Cause
shit.
like at least maybe she likes the Vandals too or some shit, Like maybe if
Yeah,
she likes the Casualties, she probably. But like if you like Slightly Stupid,
there's
that's just like
there's
a bad wormhole to go down,
this is
Like
true. So yeah, so we do not support any Sublime, the Expendables, Pepper, slightly stupid. We don't condone any of that. The reggae that we're talking about is the real deal shit.
I think, in my opinion, you might disagree with this, but in my opinion,
Uh huh.
this is actually like not even that. I don't even like believe it that much. But like for white reggae, it almost like should be ska. You know what I mean?
No, no, I kind of
Like I feel
I
like
kind of
that is
agree.
like the white reggae in a way.
The third wave ska scene and the white boy reggae scene kind of do collide at a couple.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Ska's
play
cooler,
shows
obviously.
together. Yeah, they play shows together. Yeah, exactly. Ska's not, even though both technically have been bastardized into a white form of art. Um, Ska just feels more original. It's a more
Yeah,
original
I just feel like yeah, it does feel more original. It's got like more to it.
but yeah, fucking just been going over the. Apparently, I did not know this, but apparently, I forget what's publication it was. Something major like Time Magazine, or I'm definitely butchering it, but somebody they named Exodus, Bob Marley and the Wailers' Exodus, as the album of the century.
Oh wow,
Yeah, yeah,
that's crazy.
of the 1900s. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just and just watching the documentary and the whole his music represents freedom because you meant what you mentioned to me about how since we grew up in Southern California. I don't know if it's a Southern California thing or if it's everywhere, but when people our age and I don't want to make it a race thing, but when people our age, I was gonna say in my skin color, but there's non-whites that are into Bob Marley and are bastardizing it.
yeah, but it's just like rap music. It's like it's a black art form primarily.
Yeah,
It's not that like you can't listen to it, right? But it's like you also have to like realize that yeah,
yeah,
it's for and meant for that audience first.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like with rap, at least, the people are a lot more. Um, I guess that fact is just more common knowledge. Almost everybody, like every white rap fan, knows you can't say the N word. You know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
respect thing. It's just like, you're a guest, therefore, well, I mean, there's many other reasons to not use that word, but that's, that might be but
Unless you're 6'9".
yeah, unless you're 6'9". But yeah, no, reggae has just been, I've always had it, especially just looking at one documentary, you really can see that it's the truest music of suffering. The conditions that they lived in as kids, Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh. Um, yeah, they were really in like some shit that's like they had to wake up and find food, you know?
Yeah.
Like Chirac gun violence, that's one thing. That's, very, very intense, but waking up and not knowing if you're gonna go to bed starving or not, is that's like a new level of I don't know, depravity, suffer. I don't know what you want.
I don't know, but like if you're
But
poor, you're poor. Like
yeah,
if
true,
people in
true.
Chicago have to worry about that too.
Yeah,
You know.
very, very true.
But I get what you mean though. It's like
Yeah,
imagine like walking outside and like you can't just go to like the north side of Chicago and
yeah.
like
Or
it'd be okay. Like
you can't go to school. Like
yeah, it's
school
like
is
exactly
secondary. Finding food is number one.
like yeah, your country is
Yeah.
just totally abandoned you.
Apparently, a lot of
Even though
people.
like, yeah,
Apparently, a lot of people in Jamaica can't read. Also, so
yeah,
that was a big deal. And so I just saw a Bob Marley documentary a couple days back, and that was one thing. Like the fact that his music was played on the radio, and that there was a lot of people that didn't know how to read. His music was kind of like literacy to them in a certain sense.
yeah, that's cool because that's like a very like traditional thing like with art is like like you don't necessarily have to be like the most educated person to like realize there's like feeling behind like a song or something. That's what's cool about the Wailers and shit is like you listen to that shit, it's like all feeling. It's like all feeling and pain, and it's really great. I didn't used to like it before, but I've definitely matured enough now, I think, to be like, I can definitely even if I don't necessarily like the like style of music, like I can at least appreciate where it comes from and the pain and all that stuff.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, it's a shame that the white listeners of reggae don't hold it as a, I guess, high regard educationally as learning about rap does. I think there's a lot more white kids who are respectful toward rap because they chose to learn about it, whereas the white guys that listen to reggae are kind of just high school stoners that live with their parents in a suburban community and, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I work at Whole Foods. Yeah. I work at Whole Foods. My favorite album of all time is Legend.
Right, yeah.
Those are the people that to me don't give reggae the best name. But, as long as it means something to you, then,
Yeah, it's just like anything. Like if you like, there's always going to be too many people trying to make music when they like should like not try something else, but like just gotta be a little more honest with like what they're good at and like what speaks natural to them. Because you see a bad reggae band, there's like few things worse to me than seeing a bad reggae band. Like truly, like maybe a bad jazz band. Like that might be the only thing worse for me. You know what I mean? That might be the only thing worse.
So, all right, folks, I'll never forget this story. So, it's more like bad reggae cover band. But remember the time in Tip's birthday we saw that group fucking playing the Sublime cover at that bar?
For Tim's birthday? Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Here, let me try to backtrack for the listener. So basically our buddy Tim, who, if you've seen early episodes, he was on, but he's kind of taken more of a producer type role now. But
for the real heads.
Yeah, Tim, Danny, and I, we all went out. Tim's turned 21. He was the last one of us to turn 21. We went out to downtown Fullerton, which if you live in Southern California, you will know that is a popular drinking location. There's a lot of bars, walking distance, the college, so on and so forth. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And one of the last stops of the night, where we're all drunk as shit. That was probably the drunkest I ever was without throwing up.
Nice.
But toward I think the last bar of the night, we get in and this group's playing a Sublime cover song, and like one of the guys has a fedora on, and you're just
That was the coolest bar, though. I will say that was like
that
the
was
coolest,
that
the
was
coolest bar that I
also
went to.
that was also the bar where I believe Tim threw up in the bathroom and kept drinking.
Yep, probably.
Could be wrong though. But anyways, that's our pop culture part. Well, shit. I guess let's dive into our first topic.
The JoJo. JoJo. I'm gonna grab my notebook and like 1 sec. It's right here.
I just recently found out how to say his name, the director. Actually, I don't even remember how to say his first name, but I know his last name is YTT.
Yeah, YTT.
Like
YTT. Yeah, I have a hard time saying it.
How do you say his first name? Takai? Something?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hear it all the time too, which is the bad
my little
part.
brother was the one that actually gave me the correct pronunciation.
But yeah, have you seen any of his other movies?
I haven't actually.
I've only seen Thor Ragnarok. I think it's the only one.
That's right. He did a lot of the Thor stuff, which was kind of. And I know he's a New Zealander, so he did a lot of the Flight to the Conchords episodes when those.
See, I never got into that show. That might explain a lot of things actually, because like
I feel like the humor was different.
Okay, yeah, because I just never could get into that. All those like early to like or mid 2000 shows, like I don't know, I could just never get into them.
I liked Flight of the Conchords.
I know, I always remember. That's the only reason I'm like I semi respect it is because like I remember you were into it.
Yeah, they're cool. But yeah, I guess he directed a lot of those, which is kind of cool. They are one of the few groups that they didn't break up or anything. They just were like, yeah, we're done. We're gonna just stop making. We're gonna stop making the TV show. And we're just gonna focus on music and touring.
Oh, do they still make music and stuff?
I believe so. I think it's a pretty slow stream, kind of like Tenacious D. Like they'll probably release an album every 6 or 7 years.
Gotcha.
But I remember, I don't remember what year it was, but maybe a few years back they announced their first tour in 5 or 6 years, and it was a big deal.
Okay.
I just remember people trying to get tickets.
You remember how many? Was it like a long running show? Was it only a couple seasons?
It was only 2 seasons. Yeah.
Okay.
It was only 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think I remember that now.
But yeah, I haven't seen any of his other stuff. I really liked JoJo Rabbit personally. I gave it a 8 out of 10, which definitely closer to a 7. My first watch it was a 3.5, which is a 7 out of 10. But then when I watched it again, I bumped it up.
Ah, gotcha.
So for those of you that don't know, let me attempt to. Here, you know what? No, I'm just gonna read off the letterbox.
Yeah.
When in doubt, because they do a really good job of.
It's not long either. It's never a long synopsis.
Yeah, that's literally. I was gonna say they do a good job of really summing it up within 2 to 3 sentences.
Yeah.
All right. Fucking here we go. World War II satire that follows a lonely German boy whose worldview is turned upside down when he discovers his single mother is hiding a young Jewish girl in their attic. Aided only by his idiotic imaginary friend Adolf Hitler, JoJo must confront his blind nationalism. There we go.
Yeah, it's I would agree that is exactly what. See, that's what we're gonna do from now on. We're just gonna read the letterbox.
Yeah, synopsis. I've already been kind of doing it a lot, but now
it's official. Now it's official. We're just gonna because that was perfect. That was exactly how I couldn't have done it better myself.
Yeah,
honestly.
That was the only thing that I would add was I felt like low key I mean. Obviously, that was part of the joke, but I feel like they made Hitler almost gay. Like he was very effeminate.
Yeah, that's part of See, that was probably I would say my biggest problem with the humor is I did not find Hitler funny at all.
Really?
I did not. I thought I didn't even think he really looked like Hitler. There was some angles where he would. Yeah, but I was like, wow, you did not try at all to get it.
As far as actors who look like Hitler, he's probably the worst Hitler actor I've ever seen actually on screen.
And what's hard to tell is I don't know if that's part of the joke or not. I don't know if that's supposed to be tongue in cheek, oh look at we're just
Well, I know Hitler was played by YTT himself.
Oh,
Did you not? Did you?
I did not know that. No.
Gotcha.
That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. See, every time you tell me these things, it's like I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
But no, I mean exactly. It makes sense why Hitler doesn't look very Hitlery.
And it makes sense why that's like my least favorite performance in the whole
Yeah,
movie.
exactly.
You
He's a
know?
good-looking director. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Let me check right now if he wrote it. I don't want to. I don't think he did.
I think I'm pretty sure it's based off of a book.
It is because it won for best adapted screenplay.
Gotcha. Yeah, and like I think one of the things I was reading is that it's actually not a funny book at all. Like it's like actually quite a serious book from what I read. And
Gotcha.
what is it? Watiti?
Watiti.
Yeah, Watiti.
It's like Waikiki except T.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was saying.
That's the only reason I remembered it.
Yeah, it's just like fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, his humor is just not my type of humor.
It was a serious book.
Oh yeah. There we go. He's the one who tried to make it funny. Yeah. And like,
interesting.
That's the thing too. Like, so like when I was watching it, it reminded me specifically of like 3 movies kind of like smashed together into one.
Okay.
So the first one, I don't know if have you seen Moonrise Kingdom?
No, I have not.
So this movie, like especially like the first 10 minutes, like when they're doing like the whole like young Hitler youth thing, is like almost exactly like Moonrise Kingdom. Like from like the costuming that they're wearing to like the mise en scene that you're like the setting that you're seeing. It was like immediately in my head, I was like, oh wow, he's trying to do the Wes Anderson thing. There's actually like a show now on Amazon. It's called like Scout Troop or some shit like that. It might even be a movie, but it's literally that like Moonrise Kingdom, like Boy Scout-esque type of film. And it's just like everyone's ripped off that shit. Like Watiti is definitely not the first person to rip off Moonrise Kingdom, but like it just didn't really work for me the way he did it compared to like Wes Anderson did. Like I don't know, I feel like once Wes Anderson did it, it became kind of like uncool to because like you're just not gonna top Wes Anderson. You know what I mean?
That's like when Chuck Person.
When
he released Chuck Person's Eco Jams, it's like cool. This is the best the genre's ever going to be.
Exactly.
With the start.
It's like if OPN tried to like, he tried to make like another Chuck Person's, but like with the like his own OPN style now, or something it just wouldn't work because like the template's already been established. But the other movie that it reminded me of was this movie called The Death of Stalin, which is like about the title says is like the death of Stalin. And it's kind of like, it's like the same kind of like goofy satire. Like, hey, look at these like fascistic people. Like, look how dumb they actually are. Yeah. But it's like what I liked about that movie was that like it used real people. Like you like learn about all the Stalin's cabinet, and basically like the movie is like Stalin dies. And so like, there's like 4 dudes that like were like his right hand man. And they're all trying to get his spot, like as this like the dictator of Russia and shit. So like they're like doing all these like zany things to like kind of like make sure the other person dies or make sure the other like just trying to like one up each other and trying to get this position. And I like that approach better because it's like you kind of have the historical background with just like hey, yeah, like these people really did all this stuff. Look how stupid it really is. Like obviously they were more serious when they were trying to do it. But like at the heart of it, like they were really silly to like play all these games just to get power, And then the third movie that it reminded me of was The Boy in Striped Pajamas.
Okay, yeah.
Which is
I actually have not seen that one, but that one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, like kid, super diehard Nazi dad. He wants to be just like his dad. They befriend a Jew, and by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, by the end of the movie, their friend.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, as per usual in those types of situations. So yeah, it kind of reminded me of those 3 movies, kind of smashed together.
Yeah.
And like so, like my main complaint, I guess, with the movie, because like I, as much as I didn't find it that funny, there were parts where I was like, damn, that was a good scene, or like I was like, damn, that was actually a pretty good joke, or what I mean? There's like so many great little scenes in it that like for me don't add up into anything because like. I really hated like the scene that like I really hated the most was like the war scene. I really did not like the war scene at all, because like
yeah.
That like that kind of like he should. So he needs to do like one or two things with the movie. In my opinion, he either needs to like go like 100% more like zanier, screwball-esque, just double down on it, you know.
Yeah.
And or he needed to go like more conventional kind of like drama, because like
I probably would have rather seen the first option.
yeah, I think I think I would have
both
too.
of us, yeah.
Yeah, because like especially like he has that really great quote at the end where it's like I should have wrote it
By
down.
that one poet.
Yeah, but it's like basically
Yeah.
saying like, you know, like basically like the whole thesis of the movie is like, hey, like, you know, like Nazis, they were one of the worst things that ever happened in human history, but at the end of the day, like they're only as powerful as we make them, you know. Like if we say like, oh, these guys are evil, we need to fear them, like I think what Titi is trying to say, like, no, these guys are dumbasses. If you approach any like art can make anything kind of like more digestible and you know, easy to understand. Yeah, but I think he kind of like shouldn't have done is, like I said, is he shouldn't have tried to make it like more of like a drama. Like there's so many times like where he's trying to make it into a drama, and it's just like there's no chance for you to like connect to the characters, because like the first half is so zany and it's so like irreverent of like Nazism and fascism and all that stuff. And I think if I was more on what Titi's wavelength as far as his humor, I think I would have liked it a lot more. But since like the jokes weren't landing for me, all the other stuff that like probably wouldn't have bothered me normally, like it showed, because like I wasn't laughing, you know. So I was like, oh, like I noticed that this scene is like super, could have been done 100 times better or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So I guess my last question to you that is, what did you think of the child performances?
Yeah, so I just want to say real quick,
like we said, there's two children. It's about two children. So
yeah, real quick though, that reminds me, because like I absolutely hated Scarlett Johansson's performance.
Really?
Yeah, her accent, was she even trying? Like that was my thing. Like, was she even trying?
Yeah, definitely not her finest moment, I will say.
So like with the performances, I think, I don't know. I think what the problem is for me is that they're like all what Titi. Like they're all like, I'm sure like they're maybe at points trying to do their own acting thing, but like what Titi would be like, no, you need to be like this. You need to be like my sense of humor. And it doesn't really work for me for a lot of the actor. The only child actor I liked was the girl. The girl was really good.
I obviously like both, but she's, you know, to a trained eye, you can tell she's better.
Yeah, she was in this other movie called Leave No Trace, and it's about like this girl who like lives with her like PTSD dad, and like they just live in like national forest and shit, because like he doesn't want a house, he just wants to live on the land and shit. And it's just like such a great performance, and she does this, like she does what she can here, you know. It's like her character is like, she just stands out so much in the movie to me. I don't know, it's like everyone else is so dumb and like unaware, but like she's one of the few characters that's like strong and like kick-ass. Like I did appreciate that. I did like that. And I think like the two child actors, they do have good chemistry. You know what I mean? Like they I think like I would believe like if they see, I want to almost watch that movie like where it's like more serious and like he falls in love with her and like then something happens, and like because it's like a very rom-com type of ending, like for JoJo, you know, like, and I was like I didn't earn that. I was like, you know, like but yeah, I don't know, like some parts were like kind of funny, but like other parts were like, I was like, you know, that part where it's the war scene and then like JoJo gets the jacket, like the blonde girl, she gives him the jacket so like he can get easily recognized and stuff. Like that kind of stuff, I was like, it just kind of felt a little forced to me. It was kind of funny though, like when she's like handing the kids all the guns, like she's like, oh, you're promoted you're promoted to a real warrior.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the only real adult performance that stood out was Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, and he played who again?
He was the captain of the
oh, the one who at the end he's like, get this Jew away from me.
Yeah.
I actually really liked that scene. I think that scene was actually pretty good. Except though, like I almost felt like it was trying to make me feel sorry for the Nazis.
Yeah.
Which was like a weird tone thing, which is like kind of the problem with the movie, is it kind of has a weird tone overall.
So yeah, because like obviously, what's her name? Rebel Wilson's in the movie, but it's like every other adult performances in the movie was just kind of like shrugged off, like
Yeah, I think I honestly kind of blame Watiti for that. Honestly, I feel like
yeah,
he that's exactly what he wanted, you know,
yeah,
because like what's interesting about JoJo is like this is his blank check movie in a way.
yeah, good.
You know, it's like he makes Thor Ragnarok. It's a huge hit. The studios are like, okay, you can make whatever you want, and like
Yeah,
this is what he chooses. Like he had complete control of this movie, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have liked, like we said, a more screwball
yeah.
type of film.
So,
This
so
one
I,
tries to be like two different types of movies, I think.
so I enjoyed the film quite a bit, folks. Like I said, I gave it a 8 out of 10 off my second rewatch. I watched it with my family the second time.
Oh, nice.
Very interesting. My stepdad. For I guess I'll preface it with this for the folks at home. The Nazi humor, like Danny mentioned, it's pretty. It's nothing too heavy. It's kind of pointing out like, aha, you're dumb. You know,
Yeah.
nothing. You know, the jokes aren't going very deep. There's nothing like messed up about the humor or anything like that. But my stepdad still said it was teetering on the line of being offensive to him.
It's like I feel like I don't know. There was like one scene
Mm-hmm.
where like the joke was that like someone died. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like the punchline basically was like someone died,
Mm-hmm.
and like I can kind of see like how that's offensive. You know, like how like the joke is like it's like black humor. It's kind of like the joke is like this is kind of like not supposed to be funny. You know,
Yeah,
like that's kind of like the joke. Is like
yeah.
it's not supposed to be funny,
My
but
yeah, my stepdad definitely gets sensitive about kind of social issues like that. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. He said it wasn't, but he was like 1% more, and it would have been I would have considered it offensive. But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I chose this for a family movie. It's a PG-13 movie. You know, it's funny. It's because it is very what was the word that you used to describe possession? Not the It's like very. What's that
Of
word?
possession.
What you used the word to describe the movie Possession.
Oh,
Like
like in your face.
no, like not like device. It's very it's polarizing.
Oh, polarizing. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It very
Yeah,
much is, dude. It
film is
very much
cool. Yeah,
is.
I see people that I respect rating it low, and I see people I respect rating it high. You
The
know.
craziest thing for like when I was looking at my letterbox after was like how much like people I thought like would hate it
Yeah, yeah.
actually were like, no, it's like really good. Like I really liked it. Had a good
And
time.
then vice versa.
Yeah, and then people who I thought like would probably like it more, like or
Like
who I
hated.
thought would like
Yeah,
hate it, like or whatever, you know, like so that was kind of interesting. Like that's kind of like
yeah,
I was like not digging it that much after I watched it, but then I thought like I was like, well, you know, like AJ likes it, and like all these people I respect like it. It's like
yeah.
I think it's more of like just my sense of humor that's not working, you know,
Gotcha. Yeah, like
because
well,
if
I
the
think.
movie was funny, like then it's like. I can look past everything really, you know. If the
Yeah.
movie's like entertaining me, you know.
Yeah, YMS either gave it a 5 or a 6. He wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah, YMS wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah,
YMS trips me out, dude. Sometimes he's got some
yeah.
takes.
He has some interesting ones. But yeah, I if you're looking for a family movie that you know, if you have maybe some older kids in the crowd too, you know, you're looking to appease everybody, um, I'd say this would be this would be worth a shot.
Yeah, I think if you like Thor Ragnarok and kind of like Watiti's sense of humor, like definitely
Yeah,
definitely check it out because yeah,
he's
you
a,
might be one of the
yeah
people who like it.
he's a New Zealander, so he has a very here. Let's to close off this segment. Let's give an example of a very New Zealandy joke that that won't give away any. That won't be a spoiler. That's in the film. So I guess basically one captain of the Nazi party is kind of telling the other captain. He was like, "When I said I needed 5 German shepherds, I meant the dog.
Oh,
Not me, 5 actual German shepherds." And the camera pans over, and it's like 5 dudes in lederhosen with like
Yeah. See, I wanted more. I wanted more of that. I want more of that.
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was one of
stuff,
my favorite. That was honestly one of my favorite jokes of the. That was the joke when I watched it the first time. I was like, I think my grandpa would like this movie. That was a very grandpa joke.
Yeah. See, that's classic screwball humor right there.
Yeah,
You know, where it's just like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous and funny.
yeah. It's yeah, exactly. It's almost so dumb. Yeah, that's so that's some of the good humor that I guess we wish there was more of. But yeah, check it out. It's on HBO Max. That's pretty much single-handedly the reason why we were able to watch it.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for it for a little bit. So yeah, check that out. Wish.
Check it out.
Support YTT. Don't pirate it. Even though we are probably the worst offenders of that.
Oh, I'm very pro pirate. I'm very
same.
very...
Normally I am too. So, but it's one of those things. If it's on a streaming service, you might as well to support the guy. But I'm not gonna not watch something because it's not on fucking Hulu.
Yeah, my opinion is like it's with anything. Like with streaming, is like if you like it enough, then like buy it. Like go get it. Because I mean, really, all you can do is support art that you like, but you don't always know you're gonna like it.
I'll take some after though.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Dude, what do they make?
Sorry, it's just they make guacamole.
Oh, fire!
Which I love. Whenever she makes it, it's really good.
God, no, she probably makes it good.
She does. All right, fucking Dogville.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. This is the one we've been waiting for.
God damn, what a good movie! It might be the best. I don't want to exaggerate, but like it might be like the best first watch I've watched this year.
Nice.
It might. I don't want to say that like because I've seen a lot of good movies this year, but like that was like I was like wow. Like as the more it went on, I was like holy shit. Like this is like my take is like that is the absolute closest I think is possible to get to like the feeling of reading a novel or like a short story. That is like the closest I've ever seen a movie get to that. It's either like doing something like that or like more of like the old school like Victorian like like the period piece movies where it's like very like old school English shit. But this was like especially the narration was like so good. It was like I was like amazed at how much it felt like I was reading a book.
So here, before we get ahead of ourselves, let me just give the Letterboxd summary real quick. So here we go. So the barren soundstage is stylishly utilized to create a minimalist small-town setting in which a mysterious woman named Grace hides from the criminals who are pursuing her. The town is two-faced and offers to harbor Grace as long as she can make it worth their effort. So Grace works hard under the employ of various townspeople to win their favor. Tensions flare, however, and Grace's status as a helpless outsider provokes vicious contempt and abuse from the citizens of Dogville. Kind of butchered that, but there we go.
No, that was perfect. I thought that was really good.
So yes, this is a Lars von Trier film who, on this podcast, and I believe just on my Letterboxd, have not been very kind toward.
So you've seen Antichrist,
Melancholia, and Nymphomaniac.
Okay, cool.
I had only, to be fair, didn't finish Nymphomaniac. So I guess. So
like he's like, isn't he like 2 for 2 or whatever? Because like, didn't you like Melancholia?
Yeah. I will say I like Melancholia, but liked like that. It was a nice 7 out of 10. Because I say 6 out of 10 is that's standard. Like okay, you made a movie, it's all right. But 7 out of 10, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna rewatch this. This is rewatchable.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of Antichrist. That's another polarizing film, in case you folks have not heard of it.
He's a very polarizing filmmaker, I would say. He's like, and his career for like a lot of it is kind of up and down. So it kind of makes sense that you kind of liked half his movies and didn't like the other half. Because like a lot of people describe it as like a wave for him. Like he does a really good movie, maybe like 2 good movies, and then he does like something that's just like dog shit, and then like he does like a pretty good movie, like a decent movie, maybe another dog shit, and then oh fuck, another masterpiece. You know, like it's like all over the place.
So apparently, I also learned that Dogville is part of the. Those films that we listed off earlier, Antichrist, Melancholia, and Infomaniac, are part of something unofficially, or maybe even officially dubbed, the Depression Trilogy.
Yep.
Apparently, Dogville, and another film called Manderley, which is apparently the sequel to Dogville, done with a different actress, but it's Von Trier still. Basically, the Land of Opportunity trilogy is Dogville, Manderley, and then the third film is supposed to be called Washington. It's not been made to this day. I'm not sure if I didn't look up if there were any plans to make it. I'm not sure what the hell Von Trier's up to now.
It's cool too because there's actually he does another trilogy of films before this. Called the Golden
Hearts.
Golden Hearts trilogy.
So, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Breaking the Waves, Dancer in the Dark, and I believe The Idiots, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen that one.
But you seen the other two?
I've seen the other two.
Okay, gotcha. I was interested in seeing Dancer in the Dark, and then I read that it was a musical, even though it's beautiful.
So like this is like an interesting thing I was reading before we recorded today because I was like, because I knew a little bit about this movement in film. It's called. I'm gonna butcher how to say it because it's like a Danish word, but it's like
95.
Yeah, Dogma 95.
Yeah.
And when I was I thought that Dogville was Dogma 95 film. I almost like I stupidly thought that's where like the name came from.
It makes
you
sense.
know, I was like
the first time I saw Dogma 95, I thought they were referring to the Kevin Smith film.
Nice. See, yeah, like I was like, what?
I was like, after Dogma this came out, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Dogma was released in 97.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of
keep calling it Dogma 95.
Dude, I thought the same thing. I like took a film class way like a long ass time ago, and the first time I read it, I thought the same thing. I was like Dogma 95.
That's like the most film nerd joke ever created.
I know.
Dogma 95 was just the incorrect way of someone listing Dogma 97 by Kevin Smith.
I was like, Dogma's like okay, but it's like it influenced the whole like wave of film. Like what? Like it's like not that good. Like,
that'd be funny.
Stupid. No, but yeah. So like basically like Dogma 95 for the viewers at home who maybe don't know, it's basically like a reaction against like Hollywood filmmaking, and it's also a reaction against like directors as the auteur. It's like a reaction against auteur theory. It's more about the characters and the story, and like you're not allowed to use anything but like a handheld camera. You know, there's no like advanced dolly setups or anything intrinsic like that. You know, it's like you have to use a handheld camera. It's like the director is not credited. You know, like there's never a credit for the director.
Very art house.
Yeah, you know, you're not allowed to use any special lighting. You know, no tricks with lighting. You're not allowed to like. It's like 10 rules. You know, like all this crazy shit.
Which I guess are strictly adhered to.
Yes, there's like it's funny because that's why it's called Dogma 95 because like a dogma means to like you have to follow these rules like or else, you know. And it's cool because like we were talking about the Golden Hearts trilogy, like 2 of those films are technically Dogma 95, which is The Idiots and Dancer in the Dark. Which is why I was like, maybe you might like Dancer in the Dark because like it's
Excuse me, folks.
Dude, Jacob, our friend of the pod, Jacob, just got a new bong, and it looks really nice.
Really?
I'm proud of him. But yeah, you might like that. You might like Dancer in the Dark. You might hate it also, honestly, because like we were saying, Lars von Trier, it's like you're flipping a coin almost. You know, it's like you're either gonna like really be on the movie's wavelength, or you're gonna be like, this is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. You know, like, this is dog
exactly.
shit.
Like I mentioned, I only liked Melancholia. That was like, I gave Dogville a perfect score. That was 10 out of 10.
I think my next rewatch is gonna be it because I never give anything. I really rarely ever give a movie 5 stars first watch, but I think I have no doubt this is either my favorite Von Trier or like.
Oh, it's
easily top 2. You know, like because like
what would the other one be?
I really like Breaking the Waves. That's like
really
I want to rewatch that because like so this is the thing about Von Trier is he's one of like, I don't want to say one of the few directors, but like he's one of like the best at getting great performances out of lead actresses. You know, like in Breaking the Waves, it's Emily Watson. She's like, you know, a really famous actor. I don't know. Have you ever seen Red Dragon? The Silence of the Lambs sequel. Oh, she's in that. I'm sure you'd recognize her if you saw her. But yeah, like he gets like an incredible performance out of her in Breaking the Waves. Obviously Bjork in Dance in the Dark, and here, or obviously in Melancholia, he gets a great performance from Kirsten Dunst. You know, it's like every movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't seen Antichrist. I think William Dafoe is the main character in Antichrist, right?
But I'd say Charlotte Gainsbourg gave the better performance.
Ah, see, because Gainsbourg. I didn't know, dude.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I might watch it just to see it because I'm a completist that way.
You should, if you want, you can. It's on fedupmovies.com if you don't want to torrent it.
I think it's on Criterion, no?
It is. You're right.
Yeah, that's cool.
See, that's why you get support. If you can, support them.
Yeah, that's like the one streaming service I think is like actually really worth it. Yeah.
We'll give Von Trier, we'll line his pockets with money.
Yeah.
Buy more. What do depressed people buy?
Alcohol. He was a very depressed alcoholic for most of his career.
Yeah, there we go. So we can line his pockets so we can buy more booze.
Oh, dude, it was kind of funny with
Nymph.
Yes, because like I was just about to say, dude, like when he made Nymphomaniac, like his main complaint, he's like, dude, because he had stopped drinking at that point. He didn't say dude. He didn't say dude, but like he's like, you know, I just can't make a good movie without being drunk.
I know.
He did it like Nymphomaniac. He's like, I don't know, like I just can't make a movie without being drunk.
Yeah, I know that one interview where he said that very atrocious thing. He claimed it was the only interview in his life he ever did sober.
Yeah, he's one of those
strange one. Yeah,
he's one of those dudes. I was reading like friend of the pod, Mike D'Angelo's.
He also gave Dogville a 5 out of 5.
Yep. And for the viewers at home who don't follow Mike, you need to follow Mike on Letterboxd.
He's a tough sell, basically. If he's giving something 5 out of 5, you know it's some shit.
That's the reason to follow him, is because you know when he's given anything, like even a 4-star from him is like, whoa, like I gotta like check this out, because like basically everything he watches is like 2.5, 3.5 at the most, you know.
Yeah.
But he was saying something like a lot of the times you watch a movie and like you want to like meet the director because like you're like, oh, like this dude's on my wavelength. He's probably like a chill ass dude to hang out with. But like Von Trier is not like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to hang out with Von.
You don't really want to hang out with Von. You don't want to get a beer with Von Trier. You know, like you want to.
I think all of my favorite directors, I would like to, even Mikhail Haneke.
Yeah, I would love to smoke like a joint with Haneke, dude.
Yeah, that would probably be, but like Tarantino, yeah.
Yeah, get a beer with Peckinpah even, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So on and so forth. But Von Trier, no.
Yeah, I don't, you know, like he's just like one of those dudes. It's like, yeah, if you've like paid too much attention to Von Trier as like a person, like it might even ruin his movies for you, because it's like,
yeah, he's not a great person.
And like the thing, like I was saying, with all his female, you know, he gets all these great performances out of his female, but like he's kind of mean to them. Like that's kind of why, like he's kind of like mean to them on set, and like the stories are almost always about them suffering. Like if you think about it, like you haven't seen Dance in the Dark, but I'm sure you know what it's about. You know, it's about Bjork suffering for 2 hours. You know,
and her kid has an eye thing.
Yeah, Breaking the Waves. Same thing. Is Breaking the Waves is like about like a really strong couple who like has to suffer through the whole movie. Okay. You know, and Melancholia, same thing, obviously. Like, yeah, I mean, the entire Kirsten Dunst has depression, Nymphomaniac. Like they're all the same in that sense. They all have like a main, you know, woman character who's just like suffering the whole movie. But like it works. I don't know. It just works because like the performances are almost always good. Like you can never like, maybe you didn't like the story or whatever, but like a lot of times like the actress is like doing really good shit, you know? Yeah. Yeah. But like I mentioned, when I rewatched maybe half of Antichrist, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, hey, I might not love this movie, but the atmosphere that he's created is actually really cool. Yeah, the one thing like that Mike was also saying about Von Trier was like, you know, like even his misses are like interesting. You know, like they're not like facts. Sometimes like a director will miss, and you're just like, this is just sad.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, this is.
I'm sure I can speak for both of us. We did not, or maybe you did like Nymphomaniac.
I think I gave it 3.5, maybe.
Oh wow, that was like a 2-star for me.
I liked Volume 1 more than Volume 2, I think, if I remember correctly. Dude, did you know? I didn't know Charlotte Gainsbourg was like, I think she's a country singer or something like that. Yeah, I saw her. She came out with the best new music on Pitchfork like a couple years ago.
That's crazy.
I was like, what the hell? Like, Nymphomaniac? Yeah. Like, I really like
the Nymphomaniac chick. She makes music.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? You just like work with Von Trier and make music. Like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I think if I rewatched it, I probably wouldn't like it as much, to be honest. So I think I'm
really.
No, Nymphomaniac.
Oh yeah.
I think I might not rewatch it just so I can keep like it positive in my mind.
It's not that good.
So with Dogville though, dude, like honestly, I think I'm really torn. I don't know if it's my favorite performance by freaking yeah, but it's like super close to my other favorite performance by her is this movie To Die For by Gus Van Sant, the same dude who did Elephant. Actually.
Yeah. So I found out that's actually what that's the exact film that Dogville lost to. In the Cannes Film Festival.
Interesting. I honestly, Dogville is so much better. That's weird.
No, I 100% agree. Dogville is infinitely better.
Yeah, because like it's just like, well, anyway, I want to focus on Nicole Kidman for a sec because like she is absolutely amazing. She's the Von Trier and the writing of the movie is like a big thing of what makes it great. She is what really, really makes it great, in my opinion.
If I may interrupt real quick about the script, Quentin Tarantino claims saying that it's one of the best scripts in all of film. In his opinion.
Yes, and like my theory on that is like, I wish I knew who wrote it. I wasn't paying too much attention to the credits.
I'll check right now. I believe Von Trier though.
So this is what I want. Like, this is like my take on the movie. Because like, obviously, real quick, I want to give like the like accepted take.
He's the writer.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Even though like with movies, a lot of times like you get like rewrites and stuff, but like that's still really impressive. Yeah. But so like
20 producers though. Interesting.
So like the common take on the movie is it's like kind of like a criticism of America.
Yeah, I was about to talk to you.
Yeah, and like that makes a lot of sense to me because like Nicole Kidman, like all her worth is like based on how much she can like work. Like it's like, okay, how much can you get done in a day? Can you help us all? Like, so like that, and she's like an outsider coming in, so it's like kind of like there's like an immigration type of deal going on, and like it's a great movie to like think about America because like. Dude, just the way that the town slowly like turns like more and more like hypocritical and like evil in a way. It's just like it felt so real to me. Like it just felt like such like human nature to me, like something that would happen like in Cyprus. You know what I mean? Like if like for some reason Cyprus was like closed off from the world or something,
So here's my favorite review on Letterboxd by. Sorry, I'm gonna have to put this closer. M.D. Perkins. So.
Okay.
Follow him if you like these reviews. I'm going to do that right now. Actually.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
He has been followed. Or she. But the review is... he or she gave the movie a 1-star, which I do not
Whoa.
at all.
Whoa.
But the review is Lars von Trier. Knock, knock. Me. Who's there? Von Trier. Sadness. Me. Sadness who? Von Trier. I hate America. So the first comment is best review of this movie, and I actually loved it.
That's so funny, though. That's pretty funny.
I love the movie, and that's the perfect review for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
That about does it.
But yeah, I think that's like that's such a great read on the movie that it's like, but like what I was so interested in was like how. Like the fact that there's no like real like set, like that there's like
stylization of it. Yes.
You know how like Elm Street, how like in the beginning of the movie it talks about how like, oh, Elm Street doesn't have any trees, but like it's named Elm Street, whatever. That's actually like a very like what's interesting about it. It's like actually like a very complex idea. That's like because in literature there's like this idea that like names don't mean anything anymore. you know, because like Elms, like, you know, how many, like Cherry Avenue, right, in Long Beach, like,
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? There's no fucking cherry trees on Cherry Avenue, you know what I mean? So like names don't really mean anything anymore. But what's interesting about Dogville is like you have like the imaginary, what were they called, gooseberry bushes,
the gooseberry bushes.
you
Yeah,
know,
they're
and
just
like
squares.
yeah, they just square like a little drawing. But like your mind, like halfway through the movie or whenever it happens for you, you know, like at some point during the movie, your mind just kind of like accepts that they're there. You know, it's
Yeah.
really weird. It's really weird how like the movie becomes like more real. I don't know, it becomes like more real to me than like if there was a set there.
So I was showing my roommates right before I came to record this. They asked me what the film was that we were going to be discussing. And I said it was about Dogville,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of mentioned that I said that it kind of is like they took a play and just filmed it in a
Yes,
sense.
yes, exactly.
You know, the setting. You know, and also I'm going to try to explain this for the people at home. The setting is a very sparse. Yeah, you know, it's probably just the size of a high school drama theater stage times two, as
Yeah.
far as just for depth, because there are a couple of scenes with cars that cars do go through.
Yeah, like a gym almost.
Yeah, and but there are no doors, you know, for the most part. They're the imaginary knock houses. They don't have walls. They are just giant taped off squares.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and the camera, you know, will occasionally give an aerial view so you can see everyone's house and you can see what the square, you know, what squares are where, you know, because there's also I guess it's a church. I don't know, the town hall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's other buildings that aren't homes. But you know, it's a very small. Dogville's like you know, it was maybe like what 7 homes.
Yeah, I think there's like a dozen people
Seven
that live
home,
there.
yeah, exactly, like 7 homes, maybe like 4 or 5 municipal buildings, and
I really love those aerial shots though. Those are like some of my
yeah,
favorite
those are
shots of them
great. Those are
because
great.
like it makes the town seem alive. Like that's what I was talking about. Where like you don't need the buildings, you just kind of need the layout of a town, and your brain almost kind of like puts the buildings there. I don't know. It's so weird. It's such an interesting
So
experiment,
when
dude.
I explained the whole stage setting to the female roommate, she called it. So she's like, "That's some hipster shit." Which is funny because I don't really view it like that at all. I don't know.
I like it's funny because like I feel like I would like normally like I would agree with that like if like
Yeah,
someone maybe
same.
if someone was like, oh, this movie's so sick, dude, like it has no fucking no buildings or any, it just has one set, like blah blah, I'd be like, that kind of sounds pretentious, dude, like, or that sounds like your roommate was saying, like, it sounds,
Yeah.
but like it's just not, I don't know, it's
Yes, and then
not.
you watch like 10 minutes of the first 10 minutes, and you completely forget about it.
You know why too? It's because the writing is so fucking good. You
Yeah,
know, like the
yeah,
writing is so good. That's what I was saying about like you're like reading a book because like when you're reading a book, like obviously you're not like you might be able to like picture things in your head, but as you're reading, you're not like looking at the fucking house they're living in when you're reading it. You're kind of like more paying attention to like what the narrator's saying or what the
Oh
characters are
wow,
talking. You know what I mean?
I've never thought about that. But
Yeah, that's like why I was like, dude, this is like seriously like the best movie like that is like actually a book, like it's like secretly like a book, you
yeah,
know, like because yeah, dude, the narration is so good, the way
yeah,
like you're saying the chapters, you know, like the chapters,
yeah.
like you're so right because like basically television is like a Dickens novel because like when Dickens or Charles Dickens would write a novel, they would come out like every month.
So before we go any further, let me just catch the audience up real quick. It's a 3-hour film
Oh
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
divided into 9 separate parts.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you watch the 3-hour film, because of the division, it kind of feels like you're just watching 9 episodes of a television show
Yeah.
or of a YouTube series instead of one 3-hour movie.
And I love it too because it's like that's such a great example because it's like if obviously you watch it in one sitting or like two sittings at most or whatever, but like
Yeah,
it's like binging it because like each thing leads to the next. You know,
exactly.
like the first story will, the way it ends will be like, I think like the second chapter is like, you know, like she goes starts working, like the whole chapter is just about her doing work that she set up in the previous chapter, like it just all follows the next, so
Exactly.
you're kind of like just there for the ride, you know.
Exactly.
It's not like there's some movies, dude, like I don't know if you saw the new Suspiria.
I have not.
So that movie is kind of this. It's like broken into 5 chapters or something like that, and it just does not have the same flow as
Really?
Dogville, dude. Dogville, like I said, dude, like when Charles Dickens was like first writing novels, that's how he would do it. He would write a chapter, and like the chapter would be like, you know, Oliver Twist finds a new home or something, and like the whole chapter would be Oliver Twist finding a new home, and it would end on like a cliffhanger that would lead into the next book or the next chapter, and that's exactly what Von Trier does here. You know, it's like he read a bunch of like classic novels and
Yeah.
just kind of like used that same formula. Because this is like the most realist film I've ever seen, while also being like the most unrealistic film I've ever seen. You
Yeah.
know, it's like both somehow. It's
Yeah.
like both. Yeah, go ahead.
I never noticed it. Apparently, there are a ton of continuity errors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like seeing things that are in certain corners that just disappear, I guess, like shit like that.
Oh, okay.
But, being that as you should be, since you're so focused on the film, I didn't notice a single thing to my first watch.
Yeah.
I had to read online, like after I saw the film, about I don't care about the continuity errors. This is amazing,
Well, like that's like I feel like okay, so like
which is cool.
I totally agree because like I feel like if you're like oh this movie isn't it can't be great because it has continuity errors or whatever, but like
Yeah.
the whole point of the movie is that like what matters most is the story.
Yeah.
Like literally, like nothing else matters except for like your like involvement in the story, you know.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like I kind of almost wish we would have paired this with like the Idiots or like Dancer in the Dark because like it's interesting to see how this is kind of like Dogman '95, but it also isn't, you know, because like they use a lot of different lighting tricks. One of my favorite scenes is like where she opens the blind man's window and all that red light comes in.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was really cool. Fun fact: that's Ben Gazzara, who is one of Peter Bogdanovich's like main
Really?
guys. Yeah, 2 of his best movies are like Ben Gazzara.
So
And like Lauren Bacall is in this. I did not know that until I saw the credits. She's Humphrey Bogart's wife.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, she's like a really famous actress from like the 40s.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and James Caan is in this. Like I was like, holy shit, this is just like
it actually
full
has an
of
all-star cast. Even though
dude.
it has an all-star cast, even though I've never heard of any. But now that you're listing their connections, it's all
Yeah, exactly. Like and of course Nicole Kidman. It's just like it was funny. I thought this was gonna be in like Danish or something. And then, like, as I saw the cast, like, more, I was like, no, there's no way.
Gotcha. All right. Well, before we go into spoiler territory, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I want to say about the film before we take that last dive into the real juicy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Do you have anything else to say about it? I think the only other thing I have to say about it is the term minimalism is definitely interpreted in a lot of different ways. Did you end up seeing Mishima?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so that film is also there's certain parts where the scene, or like the kind of what's it called, the backdrop, like kind of like the setting, like or the staging or whatever, kind of looks similar. Like it's done minimally in a sense that like the Von Trier is there. It's just like it's like a red room with just like small walls, not even completely closing off a room or so what.
Interesting.
So, but in minimal films have a lot of different definitions, and I guess the last thing I want to say is that this is by far my favorite quote unquote minimalist type film I have seen. Oh yeah, that's they call that Werner Herzog. Maybe I'm wrong, but was that Werner Herzog film? The one with the Spanish conquistadors.
Oh, Aguirre?
Yeah, I get a lot of people claim that's minimalist in a sense because it kind of looks like it's a one handheld camera in a documentary type. And
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is just reading internet bullshit, but that to me, basically, this is my favorite minimalist style film.
Yeah, well, the last thing I'll say because that makes me think is like I've seen a lot of movies where it's like it's based on a play and it like takes place in like 1 or 2 rooms. And like they always feel like plays to me though. Like they always feel like I'm just like like this is not like I don't know, like it just kind of fails for me because it just feels like a boring play. But like this somehow looks like a play and feels like a movie. Like I feel like that is
100%.
such an accomplishment.
100%, yeah.
You know, like it's so. I would always advise against the director adapting a play into a movie, unless you're gonna like. I don't even know. I don't even know like if you can. I don't even know if you could make this movie any like again. It's just like we were talking about with reggae, how it's like. I feel like
Yeah.
anyone trying to make a movie like this is gonna fail because like it's already been perfected. Like it already was
Exactly.
perfected. Yeah.
So apparently, also that reminds me of the very last thing. Quentin Tarantino also claimed that if the film was actually, if it was a play, that if it was an actual theatrical production, that Lars von Trier would have won a Pulitzer Prize.
Nice.
Claims.
Dude, I wish Tarantino would come out with like a real, because like you know like I was telling you, like when a director or a musician like they come out with their quote unquote favorite films or favorite album, like there's always kind of like they're always gonna pick obvious ones because like they're doing an interview and they want, you know, like when we were going over Quentin Tarantino's, like it was like a lot of obvious, not obvious.
There's some obvious and some that weren't. It was,
yeah,
because like Fight Club was in there, which I was very disappointed. But at the same time, like Team America and Police Story 3, Super Cop, a Jackie Chan film.
Yeah, like I want to list like that. I want to see Tarantino's like most like, you know, like most underappreciated list or whatever, like a films he thinks like everyone should check out.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you want to get into spoilers?
Spoiler territory. Here we go. So the film. All right. Before we fast forward X amount of minutes, I'm going to try to provide a timestamp. We'll see if I actually do it when I start editing. There we go. And your warning's over.
Warning. So, you could edit in like a spoiler or some shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. So the film is you know, reading the reviews, it's been categorized as one of the best revenge films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm 2.5 hours in. I'm like, where's the revenge part? And then it all comes together. 15.
I was not seeing that. I thought she was gonna get killed. I honestly thought like they were coming to kill her. Dude.
To me, that twist. So basically, folks, what, you know, if you don't plan on seeing it or you just don't give a fuck about spoilers, you know, I mentioned in the summary that criminals were after her and the town's kind of hiding her as long as she does work and does whatever the townspeople say.
Yeah.
It first starts as paid work and then slowly but surely kind of degrades into basically slavery. They
literally put a chain on her.
Yeah. They
like a collar and chain on her.
She becomes raped constantly, daily by multiple men. She literally goes from a paid worker who is respected to being a fucking slave.
Yeah.
So basically at the end of it though, I don't remember. You just saw it, so maybe you can refresh my memory. Who called the gangsters to come pick her up at the very end? Did Tom get the card?
Yeah, it was Tom because
he sold her out.
Yeah, he lied to her. He tells her early on in the movie that he burned the card, and then he starts going through his moral. You know, he's like, "Oh, is she corrupting me?" Blah blah blah, and he ends up turning her in.
Exactly. So what you find out at the very end, though, I'd say the biggest twist in the film is you know, the townspeople they call the criminals. There's a boss, you know, it's kind of like some 30s mob type shit, by the way. In Mandalay, it actually says that it took place in 1933.
Okay.
And that it's somewhere in Alabama, which obviously, like, you can kind of infer that that's when Dogville probably happened. And
yeah, you can tell by the cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Cars are like one of the few props in the movie.
Since Mandalay is an obvious sequel, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that the film happened immediately before.
Yeah.
Dogville happened immediately before. But yeah, you basically find out, you know, she is presented to the boss and the criminal in the gang, and you find out that she's the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She is instead of a mob wife, she's a mob daughter.
Just real quick, James Caan, he's actually Sonny from The Godfather.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, a little fun fact there.
Nice. And basically, the gangster, the boss gangster says, "Are you ready to be my daughter again?" And she you know, kind of hesitantly, but basically says yes. And asks if they should destroy the town, in a sense. And like I said, since it's a revenge film, she gets her revenge.
Yeah.
But however, I think the most badass scene, one of the best kind of comebacks of the whole thing, is that so earlier in the film, you get about halfway through, like I mentioned, she's getting paid at first, and there's a general store in this town. It's one of the 6 buildings that isn't a home.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah,
with this. I agree.
Porcelain figures.
Yeah.
I have never in my life cheered for the death of a child in a film.
Honestly, yeah.
Except for this movie.
Honestly, yeah.
I was so glad when that little 10-year-old got gunned down.
Like, for real,
so stoked.
Like, I won't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, yeah, maybe not that far, but like, I wasn't frowning. I was definitely smiling.
I was weirdly like, this feels right. I don't know why. I was like, weirdly, this feels right.
Exactly. And I won't spoil why the 10-year-old deserved it. You can watch the film to find that out. But basically, what I'm getting at is what happens is there's with her measly pay, she saves up for these. It's the 30s, so there's not like real toys or, stuffed animals are few and far between. There's these little, what were they, like caricature, little porcelain figurines. Yeah. There we go. They're made out of porcelain. And so during one of the nastier episodes, maybe about 2/3, maybe a little less, to me, 2/3 into the film, the mother of, because one of the chores / jobs she was assigned initially was she used to take care of the 7 kids of a mother while this mother went to work or what have you, or did whatever. And so the mother and a lot of the other females are all kind of ganging up on her, kind of when shit's going bad. And the mother...
Yeah, I think they're like, this is girl talk. I think that's like actual
line.
They're like, oh yeah,
because
this is girl talk.
Nicole Kidman is, the most attractive lady in the town, and no surprise, she starts getting more attention. Other ladies don't like that. So basically, the mother of the 7 kids that she watches, she takes the porcelain figurines and smashes 2 of them. And she says, if you can withstand your tears, if you're able to not cry, smashing these, I'll leave the other 5 alone. Basically, what happens is she unfortunately cries, and so was the mother's name Martha? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Or like Vera or something. Yeah.
But the mother just smashes all 7 of the figurines, right? So then at the very end of the film, when it comes back is basically, the mob boss, the dad asks, so shoot him up and burn the town, yeah? And before he gives the order to his men, his henchmen, because he's a mob boss, he obviously has a posse with him. They all got Tommy guns, they got the zoot suits, they got the hats. They're your typical 30s gangster. Basically, she stops and she's, so the guy goes, oh, burn the town, shoot everyone. She goes, wait, there's a mother with kids. Have them shoot 2 of the kids first.
I know, dude. I thought she was gonna say like spare the kids or something.
No.
Because she pauses before she says it. Like, it's so good.
I didn't think. I guess I was just in full like, this needs to happen mode. Because I guess I was so scared. Ever since I've seen The Piano Teacher, I'm scared that I'm gonna be drastically unsatisfied with an ending. This movie was the complete opposite. This ending was incredibly satisfying to watch. It was just amazing.
It really was, dude.
As you could guess, the mother was not able to hold her tears back.
Yeah, because like they even set up earlier in the film that she cries very easily.
That's right.
I think like Nicole Kidman like says like, oh yeah, like your kids are really great. And she starts crying, like right then.
Yeah. And I remember when Nicole Kidman gives the command, she says, I'm afraid Vera cries far too easily, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right before. But yeah, that whole moment, so that happens, I'm pretty sure that's most of the actual spoiler talk. But all that happens, I want to say the dad / main mobster doesn't even show his face until maybe 18 minutes left in the film.
Yeah.
Maybe 15-ish. I don't know, but it's, like we mentioned, just a 3-hour movie. This was a hard twist a hard left turn. You know, I don't know. I just never saw that coming.
Yeah, I really,
Maybe
really,
other
really
people
like that
did.
idea.
But yeah, that's when, you know, because I was, like I said, like, where's the revenge part? And then you see the last 18 minutes, and you're like, oh, this quite possibly could be the greatest revenge story of all time.
Seriously, like, dude, like it's not easy to make a 3-hour
And
movie
there's
like
so
in the
many
first
there's
place.
so many levels, like you mentioned, the comparisons to America.
Yeah,
You know,
you
the
know.
fact that it's very, you know, it's very, you know, kind of not borrows from literature influenced.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many angles you
There's
can
so
like
many layers to this
yeah,
film.
there's so many ways you can like watch it. You know, you can watch it cuz like to be honest like I didn't even really get the revenge thing until like the end. You know, like I didn't know that
Yeah,
was like
same.
part of it. But like the more you talk about it, I'm
Okay,
like, you know what,
gotcha.
like dude, like honestly, yeah, this really is one of the greatest revenge movies of all time.
Which was just hard
Like
for me to say because I have a Kill Bill
obviously,
poster
yeah,
in my room.
I was gonna say, like, Kill Bill is like the one that you usually think of as like the best revenge story, you know, like at least in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, but like, yeah, dude, it's just like, because technically, what Kill Bill is like 4 hours. Technically, if it was like
Yeah,
one
it's
movie,
technically. I think I realized what it was though. I think what the difference is the fact that 2.5 hours of the film is Nicole Kidman suffering.
yeah,
In
but it's
Kill
like,
Bill, the scene where she gets shot up is it's pretty brief, you know?
yeah,
I'd say maybe 3 out of the 4 hours of Kill Bill are not flashbacks and are of her kicking
yeah, it's
ass
like
or
her on the,
so on and
yeah,
so forth. Yeah.
I would
But
say
this
too, like
film, yeah, it's different.
one thing Mike said in his review that like kind of got me laughing, like, because like you know he said like no one wants to hang out with Von Trier,
Yeah,
and like he's like one thing too, he's like Von Trier is like such like a sadist, you know, he's like such like
oh
a,
yeah,
you know, such like
hardcore.
you know, such
He
like
likes to
that,
see his audience suffer.
and because okay, so because he's like truly like that, he like starts you off slow. You know, like he like
Yeah,
kind of like ease because like the movie starts off pretty like I was saying
kind of
like you're just
pleasant.
reading like an
Yeah,
old school, yeah, like a Dickens novel or something. You know, it's like here's the town doctor and you know here's the kids playing and
yeah,
here's the you know the apple orchard and shit, and then like
exactly. Yeah,
slowly like each
yeah,
chapter
yeah.
gets a little worse where
Like,
it's like oh now the townspeople are raping her, you know,
yeah,
now
I
the
don't think
townspeople are
even.
chaining her up like.
Yeah, they don't even chain her up until at least 2 hours in.
I want to say it's like Act 6 or 7 or something
Yeah,
where she
yeah,
gets
yeah.
chained,
Yeah. It's pretty deep into the film.
and it's just like that is like how you do it. It's like you know like
Yeah.
Hannah. I feel like Hanukkah does the same thing where he like eases you into it. You know, like you kind of work your way
I
in.
wonder what his opinion on Dogville is.
Dude, I think yeah, I wonder like his version of Dogville would look like.
Oh, that would be
You know what I mean?
that
Like
would be great. Yeah.
that's like one of the few directors I think that could possibly pull it
Do
off.
something similar.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that'd be really badass, dude.
But yeah, I guess that kind of ends spoiler talk.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Basically, if you haven't figured it out, we love this movie, and you should
we
watch
could,
it
yeah, exactly. We
immediately.
could keep going
Immediately.
on for another 30 fucking minutes. You
We
know.
could talk about literally every scene. I feel like every scene there's like something to talk about
Oh
and
my
like
god.
enjoy.
It's
Nicole Kidman, dude, she's made it in my top 3, bro. She's in my top 3.
really, yeah.
Yeah,
She
she's in
was
my.
so good in that movie.
She's amazing, dude. She's beautiful. She's a good actor. She's got such charisma on screen. Like it's just
So I
fuck, dude.
guess I got two last things to ask your opinion about it, and so is it a film that do you think Tim would like this?
Fuck, man. Off the top of my head, first thought that comes to my mind, no.
Really? I totally
Because
thought you would.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Maybe
Go
I'm.
ahead. No,
Yeah,
state your case
maybe
though.
I could be wrong. I honestly could be wrong. I don't want to like speak for his taste, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like he needs. I don't feel like he cares necessarily about the story most of the time. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I think he's more of like the cool. Like a movie should be like kind of like the Safdie brothers type movie. You know, where it should be like
Okay.
like more of like a ride of a film than like
A slow burn.
a slow burn. Exactly. I don't know.
It's,
I think the 3 hour is like intimidating. I think for a lot of
for
people,
some reason, it did not feel like a slow burn to me. But like I
it
said,
really
it's
doesn't.
because
The
of the
chapters help.
It's
Yeah,
because of the chapters. So if
the chapters help.
that fools you, you know, good. Like it fooled me, you know.
Yeah,
But
The
if you can see
chapters
right
help.
past that, it's gonna feel long.
I feel like the chapters help, and Nicole Kidman helps because, like,
Yeah.
for me personally, like, I could watch her on screen for hours and hours. You know, like, she is so like easy to look at and like to get lost in. Like,
Definitely.
so I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but my first thought in my head would be no.
Okay, I think yes, just solely based off of the sadisticness of it.
Maybe as like maybe he wouldn't like the first half, but he would fuck with the second half. I would say.
Yeah. It's just the first half is so necessary.
You need it, yeah. I'm glad you realized you need
it's
it.
so
Like,
necessary. I don't know. When I watched the first half, I was still very engaged for some
I was
odd
too.
reason. I don't know why.
I was too.
Um,
But like I think you're right though. It's like usually with like a long movie, like how often do we say like a even like a 2 hour 10 minute movie we're like, oh, that could have lost easily 30 minutes.
yeah.
Or like, you know, like, oh, it should have
I don't think
been.
there's a single minute
No, you
in this
can't.
that could have or should have been lost.
You can't. You just
It was
can't.
the
You need it
most-
all.
It was the most justified 3-hour film I've ever seen,
Yeah.
hands down, and that's
I
including
agree.
Nashville. I mean, but that's
Yeah.
like insanely close though. Like Nashville, I would cut out maybe like 3 minutes of, you know, like
Yeah.
I can tell you which 3. But okay, and my second question is, so I guess like we said, there's multiple layers. Would you recommend this to somebody that I guess is not as a film lit? I don't want to use the term film literate, but I guess your average everyday moviegoer, your popcorn moviegoer. Do you think film would be, or do you think the staging and all that kind of stuff is maybe even too distracting?
Shit, man. Honestly, okay. First, I'll go with the first thought. The same with Tim. Like, this is the first thought that went through my head. I think it's good enough to be like a gateway into like people getting more into movies. Because I feel like if they see this movie, they'll be like, I didn't even know that kind of shit was possible. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like, you know, like I didn't even know like you could make a movie like this and for it to be so good. So like I think in a way it could probably like even show them like, wow, a 3-hour movie can actually be good. Like not all 3-hour movies suck balls, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like I honestly think maybe it could be good. But like you always run the risk of showing, for lack of a better word, normies, like a very complex film or whatever, and they just hate it, and you're like, oh, that was bad move on my part, because how can I expect them to like such a weird movie? But I think this one is so good that it like transcends any of its hangups.
Yeah, you know, I thought that also what you just that kind of not reminds me, but that changes my answer. I was initially gonna say no. I think it might be too art housey, but now that I'm thinking about it, just as of recent with audiences, I mean, you know, people are watching shit like Hereditary's mainstream.
Yeah.
Midsommar's mainstream. You know, I think if I don't think anything like Dogville could come out today, but let's live in a world where for some reason, if Dogville came out today, I think it would have a more mainstream appeal. I don't know, because I've definitely, the older I get, the more fucked up films I feel like people are asking me, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Like, and by people, I mean like parents.
Yeah, normies.
People at your job.
How
many people asked me about Hereditary before I was in the film?
Dude, like I feel like that's such a great point, because like we're going through such like a, for lack of a like a renaissance of like weird fucked it. Like if people are watching The Lighthouse,
Oscar, Parasite won the fucking best film.
Yeah, I feel like
foreign movie.
If people are hitting me up about watching a movie as weird as The Lighthouse, I feel like they could dig on something like this.
Yeah, they might be ready.
Yeah. Maybe
not the 3-hourness of it.
But hey, it goes by quick, and you can always break it up. You know, if you really have to,
exactly.
You know, you can watch half and then watch the other half.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good point. Well, that pretty much sums up my feelings on Dogville.
Such a great fucking movie, man.
Like I said, I immediately, like after seeing it, like I said, I knew it was a 10 out of 10, and I immediately put it into my top 20.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, dude. It's fucking good.
I'm glad you fuck with it, because honestly, at first, I wasn't too sure. You know, I was
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. Trust and like it's weird too because I like Von Trier. Like I consider myself a Von Trier fan.
but I mean, you already, like you said, you already know about his waves in his
Yes,
career.
exactly. I was like, is this gonna be like Antichrist? Or is this gonna be like Breaking the Waves? You know, like it could have gone either
And it
way.
was just like some other animal.
Yeah, it was on some other shit.
It's just some crazy. However, I guess I will. However, Mandalay is not as anywhere as well received.
I think once you lose Nicole Kidman, you shouldn't make that a
Yeah, they
sequel.
added
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe. He ended up taking, I believe, James Caan's role.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I think only out of the entire town, only three other people have reprised their roles.
I think that might be the
Everyone else is
last.
new.
That'll probably be the last Buncher movie I watch.
I'm gonna watch it next, and then the House Jack Bill is gonna be after the. I don't know.
You think you'll ever
Curious.
not anytime soon? You think you'll dive into Dancer in the Dark? I'm really curious if like
Maybe,
that's a movie you
maybe.
hate or
I
you love.
honestly tried to torrent it, and I. Should I be saying this on camera? I'm just kidding. I tried to torrent it, and I got like a 50-minute version. It was kind of like Come and See.
Ah, whack.
Remember when I torrented Come and See, and it was like all like a 30-minute? I was like, what the?
I hate when that
Cut
happens,
off after
dude.
30. And then you go back and you read the comments, and you're like, oh, I was an idiot. I should have read these.
I know, I do that too.
All right. So yeah, like we said, watch that shit.
Watch it now,
That's
god damn it.
crazy. All right. Well, I believe
Quick 5 time.
good old quick 5. I'm gonna make it. Oh fuck, we didn't. I guess we'll just include it in our. I was gonna say we didn't really get to talk about Feels Good Man.
Oh, I wanted to kind of say that for another, so we can go more in depth with that.
Good idea.
That because like I'm actually like maybe this is like a off air thing, but like I wanted to pitch to you since it's a documentary. There's like another documentary that came out this year that I think that would go really if we talked about both documentaries on the same
Ooh.
episode. It'd be really good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, here is my quick 5. I'm gonna do it with film.
Yeah, I'm gonna do film too.
Okay, cool. So, first film, Grandma's Boy. I rewatched.
Oh, I saw you uploaded it on the drive.
So I actually kind of had my first, I guess, virtual date. I don't know, but me and this girl, we watched Grandma's Boy together on Discord.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's why.
Hey, that's the world we live in now.
Exactly, and it worked out pretty well. Anyways, next we have Police Story 3 Super Cop, which I mentioned it was on
Was that
top list.
I haven't seen any of the old Jackie Chan movies. They're fucking cool, huh?
So yes. So the only other one I've seen is Drunken Master, which I was floored when I saw that in high school. I couldn't believe. After watching that, I was like convinced Jackie Chan was better than Bruce Lee.
Nice.
I was just like Drunken Master. Police Story 3 Super Cop honestly didn't live up to those expectations for me.
Oh, I wonder if have you seen the first 2 police stories? I wonder if you had to
I haven't.
watch those first.
Not. I think what really did it was Tarantino hyped it up big time.
Yeah.
I looked at a Tarantino list of his 30 films he thinks you should watch, and he basically said the stunts on this film were better than the stunts of Buster Keaton.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna have to say Buster Keaton is better.
Sick. That's kind of a sick opinion, though.
That's like, how are you gonna name drop him though?
Yeah.
The only guys that have done crazier shit are probably the dudes from Jackass.
Yeah, I agree.
Straight up. Okay. Anyways, it Feels Good Man, number 3.
Nice.
I gave that one a 4 out of 5. It's a documentary about Pepe the Frog.
Maybe we can do that next episode and save Kaufman for the week after.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Okay, is my description of that right though? It's Crumb meets Stephen Malkmus.
I definitely agree with the Crumb part. I think the dude, I forget his name, but he definitely kind of reminds me of Stephen Malkmus a little bit.
Yeah,
but
exactly. That's why.
It's for me. It was almost like he's almost more like a Mr. Rogers type. I don't know.
Well,
like
yeah,
super,
he has a daughter and shit.
And he's like super nice.
True. I don't know. I actually have 2 of the Boys Club comic books torn.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll talk about it more obviously, but like I was gonna get into Boys Club.
I read the first one, and honestly, there's like pictures of like Landwolf doing coke and shit. It's definitely like
sick.
Not for kids. The 4th movie is Her Smell.
Okay,
which
sick.
was, we talked about that earlier. We were like, yeah, it was all right. I give it a 3 out of 5.
I
So,
like it. Yeah, I liked it a little
yeah,
more than you,
yeah, exactly. I like it, but you know,
dude. Honestly,
like that
look
movie.
real quick. I think that movie's low key about Courtney Love.
Oh, how is it not?
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad
Right?
you. Yeah. It's like so like thinly veiled.
Well,
Courtney
just the
Love. Kind.
whole hot mess factor.
Yeah. Yeah. Blonde. Grudge
Yeah,
band. You know, like pretty
exactly.
obvious.
Has been.
Has been. Yeah.
And then lastly, The Tale with Jennifer Fox and
Yo.
the human Laura Dern.
Ooh.
Sorry, that was really that was
Yeah,
like almost uncalled for.
it's fine.
That wasn't even a bad word, and I might censor it.
Dude,
There
it's
wasn't even a bad thing technically said, but it was just dirty.
I know how you feel though. Like there's
No,
some there's some
right.
actors where it's like, you know, I can recognize like I'm trying to think of one who my Laura Dern is. Like fuck, there's like oh, like I don't even know. Like maybe like I don't want to. I feel like this is like probably a bad combo to have, but I think mine is Amy Adams probably.
Okay.
Where like she's a really good actress, but I just don't really find her
Yeah,
attractive.
exactly. Like Laura Dern, she was fantastic in that film. So the
Yeah,
film's about uh, real experiences that Jennifer Fox had as a youth, being kind of, I guess, sexually assaulted by an older man.
yeah,
Kind
molested.
of groomed into thinking that she was 13 having a relationship with a fucking 40-year-old, and was groomed into thinking that that was normal and that they were boyfriend and girlfriend and shit. I only mention that because I actually really enjoyed the film. I read the entire synopsis on Wikipedia before, maybe like 2 months ago, just because I'm kind of interested in that type of stuff. Like I definitely have female friends who have experienced trauma like similar. So, I would, and then it was just really interesting watching it. Even though I knew what was going to happen, it was still very engaging. And
Yeah, I think
it was great.
I would
It was
like.
fantastic.
I think it's like almost like so good that I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who
Yeah,
has
yeah,
because it's like might be too triggering, honestly. Like for someone who's like,
yeah. The thing is, I was telling my mom about it, and I'll try to keep this as short as possible because it is a quick 5. But I have a 13-year-old cousin, and it's
yeah,
like imagining her in that,
horrible.
you're just like, fuck, dude, that's
It's
fucked.
horrible. It's
Fuck.
horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
So yeah, if that's something you feel like you need in your life, if that's something you feel like you need to
It's
put
really good
yourself
though.
through,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really good.
then go. That is also on HBO Max. That's why I watched it. It's
Yep.
been on my watch list for quite some time. Did not think I'd be getting to it anytime soon, but it was available, and under 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'm making
directed
it
by a
sound like
woman.
it's
You know.
yeah, I'm making it sound like it's a pleasant. It's not pleasant. It'll definitely rock you to your core. But
Yes, in
yeah,
the
like I
best
said,
way though.
yeah, like you said, if you feel you need that, this is the perfect film. All
Yeah,
right, I am
yeah.
good on that. Well, and like that, you're up.
So speaking of the tale, I watched this
Uh-huh.
movie. It's called Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and
Okay.
it's about a young girl who gets an abortion,
Okay.
and like kind of like the steps she has to go through to get the abortion. It's very like tale-esque because it's like
Okay. Yeah.
very like
Based off of
it's not as because like the subject matter is different, but it's like the same kind of style for me. It was like I feel like it's this year's tale because it came out this year,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
so it's like this year's tale. This morning I
Yeah,
also
Tail came out
watched.
in 2018, by the way, folks.
Yes, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I also watched a movie called The Last Wave. I've been like slowly working on Criterion. They have
Not breaking the wave. The last.
no The Last Wave.
All right. I had to make sure.
I've been making my way through the Australian New Wave playlist on Criterion, and I'm like like a third of the way through or something. But this was like one of my favorite directors. He comes from Australia. His name is Peter Weir. It's like Bob Weir, Grateful
Nice.
Dead reference of the episode right there.
You already had a Phil Nash one, but that's a bonus.
Oh, it's true. Okay, that's true. Good point. Good point.
There's 2.
But yeah, Peter Weir. He's directed a lot of great movies. And yeah, it's one of his early movies. It's one of his most like atmosphere movies where it's like he's just really good at like creating a spooky atmosphere. I don't know. He's very very good at visuals, as opposed to like a script like Dogville or something. I also watched Feels Good Man. Stay tuned for that episode in a couple weeks. I'll say more about that. But I do agree, it's very Crumb-esque. It like reminded me so much of
big
Crumb.
time. Yeah.
Oh, I also watched Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, the original.
The original,
Nice.
which I actually really liked. I was surprised. Like, I think I like it more than most people, even like horror fans. Like,
Really?
I was looking on my letterbox, and like horror fans like give it 3.5 and stuff. I think I give it a 4. I really liked it.
Hell yeah.
I like those old school horror movies though.
Yeah.
And then I've been going through like a Kaufman phase, so I watch all I watched all of his movies.
Like Syndicate, it's just in different language or something.
Yeah, Synecdoche, New York.
There we go. Yeah.
Anomalisa, and I'm thinking of Ending Things, which just came out.
I
on
saw
Friday.
the first half hour of it, but it was while I was playing Maple Story.
Nice.
when it started to get good, so I was like, no, I'm gonna want to pay attention to this shit. So I turned it off and I put some bullshit on.
Kaufman is like he's like literally I would say the opposite of what we just watched in Dogville, where it was like, you know, like good characters, good story. Like he's like so out there. You'll see when you watch it, but we'll have a lot to talk about with Kaufman, because his main theme in a lot of his movies is like how men think of women. So it's like the fantasies, or like the way we're insecure about our masculine. Like, it's just like he kind of like really focuses on that, and he does it really good. I think so. Anyway, but yeah, that's my quick 5.
Hell yeah. Well, why don't you tell the folks where they can find you at?
Yeah, so follow me on Letterboxd. You can either Jacob Alarcon, or if you know the Cocteau Twins song Fotsi Politik, that is my official username. So you can find me on there. Find me on Twitter at Serious Listener. That's Serious like Sirius XM. Find me on Instagram, Deadhead Danny. That is with the _. And everything else, I'm pretty sure you can find me from those places. So, yeah.
Nice. You can find me on Letterboxd, Andrew Peckinpah. Of course, from there you will find links to my various Twitter, Instagram, this, that, what have you.
Yeah.
And that is it. Thank you very much for tuning into the longest running podcast with the least amount of listeners.
Least amount of listeners, but longest running.
WDK, We Don't Know, episode 18. We would like to bid you good night.
Peace.
Peace.